From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBacks, the Primetime Capper. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you are feeling the same. And boy, oh boy, it is time for the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles. And boy, I'm telling you right now, great stuff going on today. We got some great things to talk about. It's MLB Opening Day. Yep. It's the opening day for the MLB today, Major League Baseball. My original favorite sport, my first sport that I ever played in an organized setting with teammates and all that good stuff. So pretty much I'm feeling pretty good about today, to be honest with you. I think that it's going to be a great day in baseball. But let's talk about basketball first. We got the NIT Championship over in Las Vegas at the Orleans Hotel. So pretty much we have some really good players in this game. We got some great players in this game. And pretty much we have ourselves a very fun situation here. It's going to be a great day in baseball. And I just think that we have to talk about basketball, though, real quick. We have to make sure that we have ourselves in place when it comes to this really good players in this game. We got some great players in this game. And so much we have ourselves. All right. I just want to make sure I got to get the show out. So I'm the engineer, I'm the everything. So let's break down this game real quick. NIT, we got two former Conference USA teams. Now everybody knows that UAB, well, actually got two Conference USA teams still, because UAB ain't went nowhere. So this is like, is this the first time that we possibly had two teams from the same conference play in the NIT, which is absolutely incredible? You know what I mean? Because, you know, they just really did not take the this conference as seriously as they should have, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I truly do feel like what happens at the end of the day, when it comes down to a conference like this one, you have a very good group of teams. You just truly do. But they're underrated. They don't talk about this conference as much as they need to. And I think that this might be the biggest statement of them all. You send two teams to the NIT, and this is kind of a bittersweet situation in a sense as well, because we all know that this is going to be the last ride for a lot of teams in the Conference USA. I know North Texas is heading over to the AAC, and I think that UAB is on their way over there as well, too. So this is going to be a kind of an emotional game in a sense, because you have two teams that are leaving a conference that's actually having their best time ever. This is almost better than when they actually were a big-time conference, because you have to understand, you got two teams in the NIT, and then you have a team in the Final Four. And all that means, and it's all your top teams. So they all showed up. These were three tournament teams if you wanted them to be. You know, think about that part. And this is just absolutely incredible that you have the second and third place team in a conference that they consider a mid-major, but for some odd reason, they're playing like a power conference this year. So when I break down this game, you got these teams having their third matchup. It's their third matchup. Well, actually, it's their fourth matchup, because UAB did win the last time out. It was in the semifinals of the Conference USA tournament. They beat them by 7. Then they actually played at North Texas, and they got beat by 3. Then they played North Texas in Birmingham and got beat by 11. So right now, Texas has the upper hand over this team. But UAB has been dominant in this tournament. They dominated Southern Miss, a former foe in the Sun Belt. They also beat Morehead State as well. Got a great win over a very tough Vanderbilt team, and then had a real hard-fought victory over Utah Valley. And now they get to play North Texas. North Texas might have had a kind of a harder road, and they're the number 2 seed. Now, they blew out Sam Houston State, who I was really high on. I'm still kind of sad for Sam Houston State that they didn't make the tournament, because I thought that they would be a team that could run the table a little bit in the tournament this year. Winds up being that Grand Canyon made it. They got put out in the first round. I think Sam Houston would have probably been able to upset somebody. And then they beat Oklahoma State too in Stillwater. That was a very good win. And then they got the semifinal win against Wisconsin, where they did make a 12-point comeback against a team that was playing lights out to start the game off, and held them to 13 points in the second half. I think that this team is really confident coming into today's game. And I truly do like North Texas with the plus 130 in this spot. I think they wind up actually winning this grudge match today. And they've already won 2 out of the 3 of the matchups that they've had this season. I know that they won the last time out, UAB, but that was a different situation. I think that North Texas was a little tired as well too. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But I do like North Texas in this spot tonight. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the state of the Lakers. The state of the Lakers. The Lakers last night get a big win against the very, very hard charging Chicago Bulls. But, they had to get some get back against the Bulls last night, because the Bulls did kind of embarrass them on Sunday, beating them by 118 to 108. But there was points and times where that team was up 21, 22 points in both halves. So pretty much the Lakers had to get that one back. Now, the Lakers usually have a very great effort from their bench. Last night, the bench only scored 14 points. But they had 4 starters in double figures last night, which was very good. You had D'Angelo. D'Angelo got himself 17 points last night. Probably played the most minutes that he's played with the Lakers since being acquired as well, too. He played 35 minutes last night. Austin Reeves, who's now officially in the starting lineup, he replaces Troy Brown in the starting lineup. He goes ahead and he actually had a 7 for 8 night. He hit 1 3-point, and he was 1 for 2 for 3-pointers. So he was perfect from inside the arc last night. Had plus 28 as well too. 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. Then we had the big 2. I guess that's what we can call them now, because I don't know if we got a big 3, but we'll just call them AD and Bron. It's that simple. And Bron had 25 last night. He had 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and also had 2 steals last night. That was very good. Then Anthony Davis was the man last night. Anthony Davis wound up being leading all scorers last night with 38 points, had himself 10 rebounds as well too, and dropped 4 assists, had 2 steals and 2 blocks. So he had pretty much a very good all-around game last night, and he really took care of his business as well too. The Lakers found themselves up 20 at some points, 17, 18 at some points. Then they found themselves down 2 or 4. But the Lakers have proven that they can get down 12, 13 points and be back in a snap. And they've proven that they can be up 12, 13 points, and the other team can be back in a snap. So the Lakers probably played their most controlled game last night, in my opinion. They did get down in the second quarter, but that was okay, because the Lakers wound up absolutely dominating the second half. Pretty much regardless of what anybody thinks, they pretty much did go ahead and handle their business, because they went up 8 in the first half, and then they won the second half last night. The Lakers were able to get 62 points, and they only gave up 59. So pretty much it didn't seem like it was close, but they won by 11 last night. So the Lakers played great basketball last night. They let Vucevic be the star last night. They let him get his 29, 12, 6, and DeRozan was good last night, but it wasn't good enough. He had 22. Levine had 16. And then also they got a good effort from Kobe White last night. And Dosunmu had 12 last night as well, too. And Pat Beverly, Mr. I want to make sure the Lakers are out of the playoffs. He got himself a nice fat donut last night. A good old Homer Simpson donut last night. Let's keep it real. That was a straight 0 for a 0. So pretty much there it is. Lakers get the good win last night, 121-110. Right now in the standings, the Lakers are 38 and actually 38 and 38. I was waiting to say 39 and 38, but the Lakers could easily be 39 and 37 today. But we know that they lost on Sunday. Damn, the Lakers could be like 42 and 35 right now. There's so many close losses that they've had in the last month that you just tell yourself, damn, we should be sitting over here at the 4 seed already. But, the Lakers are just keep on chugging along. They find themselves a half game out of the 7 seed right now. And then they also find themselves a game outside of the coveted 6 hole as well, too, because a lot of teams want to get that 6 hole right now. And from what I'm looking at right now, if the playoffs were to start today with no play-in, the Lakers would be in, but they would have to draw Denver here in the first round. But I don't think they have any problems playing Denver as well either, because Denver is a team that they have some good success against as well too this season. So I don't think they mind at all playing Denver in the first round. I don't think they would mind playing Memphis either. I would say this, out of the teams in the top 3, probably the toughest team for the Lakers this year would be Sacramento, because Sacramento just doesn't know how to stop scoring. So pretty much this is going to be fun. The Lakers find themselves a game outside of a half a game behind Minnesota, a game and a half behind Golden State, who they hold the season series lead over, and they're 2.5 games behind the Clippers right now. And then they're going to be 3.5 games behind they're going to be 3.5 games, 3 games actually behind Phoenix. So they have some treading right here now, but they only got 6 games left. All right. And as I said before, the Lakers have to go out 7-3 to solidify that playoff spot. And I think that will get them the 6th spot as well, too. So right now, the Lakers are 3-1 on this last 10-game stretch that I've went ahead and given you guys. And actually, in the last 11, they've won their last 4 out of 5. So the Lakers are absolutely doing exactly what they're supposed to do. And they finished up the month with the exact number that I asked for, 10-5. And that's exactly where the Lakers finished at. So they are in position to go ahead and possibly get this play-in spot and hopefully get themselves into the top 6. So, hey, it's nothing but green pastures ahead for this Laker team, and this is the right time to be at your absolute best, and I think that the Lakers are at their absolute best at this moment. But we'll have more for you tomorrow as we talk about some more basketball on the Lakers' road to getting to the playoffs at this point. And pretty much the Lakers do have themselves a 5-game homestand as well, too. That was the first 5-game road trip. That was the first of many, but tomorrow night might be the most important game of this whole trip, and that's going to be against Minnesota. So with that, we'll go ahead and we'll move forward from there. So what are we talking about next? We're going to talk about MLB Opening Day, and boy, oh boy, MLB Opening Day. What a day to be a baseball fan. We got ourselves some really great games going on today. Let me go ahead and run some scores by you real quick. The Yankees won 5-0 at the stadium to kick off their 2023 campaign. Also, the Braves went ahead and absolutely made quick work of the Nats today. That game was pretty much over by the 5th inning, to be exact. I know it was only 4-2, but they could have just quit the game right there and it was over. And then the Braves just went ahead and added on a final 3 runs in the 9th inning. They were able to get 3 runs to just give them the insurance to go ahead and get that victory, so there wouldn't be any late comeback or anything like that. So pretty much with that, what happens is that you got the Braves getting themselves a great win today. And then you have the Brewers, who got shut out today. I actually had the Brewers on a +1.5. So actually my pick 6 card for early in the day is actually on 3 at this point, because I had the under in the Braves game, I had the over in the Yankees-Giants game, and then I had the Brewers with supposedly the best pitcher in baseball with the +1.5, and that didn't work out the way it was supposed to. All right, so right now I'm over here looking like it's getting a little hectic over here. I have the Orioles as well today. The Orioles are actually playing against the Red Sox right now. They were up 10-4 at one moment in that game, but now it's 10-8, and it's 1 out, and it's a 2-1 count with 2 on base right now as we speak. Batista trying to get that opening day save. And then I had the Tigers as one of my dogs of the day, and the Tigers are absolutely getting whooped on right now. They are down 4 in the top of the 4th inning. That game is probably something that is going to sell right on by. And then we have the Phillies, who are already wrecking up the Rangers. They are 5. They're beating them 5-0. They absolutely annihilated Jacob deGrom, and Jacob deGrom is already out the game. So welcome to Texas, Jacob. But opening day is always a fun day to me. I've seen my fair share of opening days in my life, and I always feel like opening day is the best day for fans to say, okay, we got a fresh start. This is our team this is my team, and we can do whatever we want. We got 162 games. We got nothing but time. And I think that every team has it in the back of their head that they could possibly be a World Series team, at least the first 2 weeks of the season. You know what I mean? And then things start making a lot of sense. But with opening day, it always shows that baseball is still here. It's a new season, and we can write a new story for this team. We don't have to worry about what happened last year because that was last year. Let's get into it right now. And I think that that's the most special thing about MLB. This is probably the only sport where you get an absolute clean slate. They're not going to be worried about what happened last year. You played too many games to worry about what happened last year. Only game that anybody's going to talk about is that final game that won the World Series. The rest of these games are just games. And I think that with the long schedule, we all appreciate baseball a bit more than any other sport because we're getting 162 games. We're getting 162 opportunities to go ahead and change our fortune. And when you get that many turns to win, usually you only need 80 or 90 of them to get to the playoffs. It's a beautiful thing. And I think that we're in store for the best baseball season in the last 30 years. I haven't seen a baseball season this hyped up, this excited about since the 90s. Seriously. And the way that the star power is working in the MLB nowadays, I feel like it's 1990 all over again. I truly do. And 1990 is one of my favorite years in baseball as well, too. And really, they had so many great players at that time. And, the great Reds won that World Series that year as well, too. So, that was a great Reds team. It really was, 1990. So, pretty much you just have great things going on. And was it 90? No, because you got the Dodgers, then you have the A's, and then you have the Reds. Yep. And pretty much, man, that was one of the better teams you'll ever see on the field. And that's the Reds' last championship as well, too. So, just the great memories of what baseball was and what it is now. And I feel like with the adjustments made, with the pitch clock, the bigger bases, the no shift, baseball is going to be back where it needs to be. We're going to have more 300 hitters than we've had in the last decade this year, in my opinion. We're going to have guys hitting home runs left and right this year as well. And we're going to have some very fun, close games that may come down to a time clock, to a pitch clock situation. We still don't have a time clock here, but the pitch clock is perfect. So pitchers don't have to waste anybody's time. So with that, as the ump likes to say, let's play ball. MLB opening day. I look forward to a great season. And boy, oh boy, here we are. We got 6 months worth of baseball. All right. So let's go ahead and move forward from there. All right. So let's get into none other than Blue Crew Daily. And Blue Crew Daily, Julio Urias is set to start for opening day for the second year in a row as the Dodgers host DBacks. So, Julio Urias has pretty much owned the Diamondbacks all throughout his career. So tonight is another night for him to go ahead and improve upon that as well, too. So he's coming into this one very confident. This guy actually won 20 games last season. He was the first pitcher to win 20 games in the season in like 5 years. So, he got that working in his favor. The guy is absolutely a gem. Actually, he did it in 2021, but in the last 2 years, he's 37-10, one of the best marks in the MLB. Also, we all remember that he was the guy that closed out the Dodgers World Series as well too, and it's really been on ever since, pretty much. And this guy is a special, special talent. Now, my father was one of the first people that tell me that that guy was going to be great, and he was actually having a lot of issues early in his career, and it all worked out in the end. And my dad said when he saw him, he said that guy's going to be better than Fernando. He's not all the way better than Fernando, but he's getting there. And that's a beautiful thing to know. And Julio Urias is going to be somebody who's going to be very key for the Dodgers today. Now, when we look at the lineup for the Dodgers today, the Dodgers do have some guys missing, but who doesn't have some guys missing right now? And I think that when it comes down to it, the Dodgers really do have themselves a very, very strong unit. Let's just say that. All in all, a veteran unit, a group that knows exactly what they're doing out there. So everything just makes a whole lot of sense for this group to be those dudes, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And I think the Dodgers really have to put in place that this year is another ringer bust year. Yeah, they lost Cody Bellinger. Yeah, they lost Trey Davis. You know, they lost a lot of great players. You know what I mean? They lost Trey Turner and they lost Justin Turner. And these guys are so, key to the team. And I know a lot of people are just, kind of sad about it, but it's the business. It happens. And I think that they totally understand that part as well, too. As I kept saying, nobody's going to pay Trey Turner $300 million. Not us. It can be the Phillies. We're not going to pay a guy who's not hitting 40 home runs, 100 RBIs a year, $300 million. It just doesn't warrant that. Because as I told people before, Trey Turner can be a renegade because he's that good. And if the team is bad, then they'll trade him, just like the Washington Nationals did. So how long are they going to sit on this contract? How long are the Phillies going to be a consistent team? They've really overspent a lot of their money already. So this might be a 4 or 5 year situation, and it doesn't really institute that they're going to win any championships in this time. Bryce Harper's hurt. You know what I mean? And I know that's what gets you excited about the Phillies, but I feel like the Phillies got to have all their star power just to be, exactly who they envision themselves to be. And that, my friends, will be something that will be very key for the rest of the season for all teams. How healthy will they be? That's the biggest question. How healthy will you be? And I think that this will be a very, very strategic season for the Dodgers moving forward. And when I look at the way that the Dodgers are truly approaching this season, they're really approaching the season with the attitude that we've been disrespected. It's that simple. You know what I mean? And I just think that this group is going to be really good. And when you look at this opening day roster, you have Austin Barnes, second catcher. You also have Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Jason Hayward, who's going to be platooning in the outfield, most likely with David Peralta daily. But I think that Jason Hayward will figure out a way to, lock that spot down, because I think Jason Hayward could do exactly what Matt Kemp did a few years ago in his final season in baseball and just absolutely wreck shop. You got JD Martinez, Max Muncy, James Outman, as I already said, David Peralta, Miguel Rojas, Will Smith, Chris Taylor, Trace Thompson, and Miguel Vargas. This is going to be your Dodger position players for this year. And then when it comes to the pitching, we have Yency Almonte, Phil Beckford, Caleb Ferguson, Brezadar Gradial, Michael Grove, Andre Jackson, and that's the bullpen. Then we have Shelby Miller in the bullpen as well, Evan Phillips in the bullpen, and also Alex Vesia. Then when it comes to the starting rotation, we have Clayton Kershaw, Dustin May, Julio Urias, Thor himself, Noah Syndergaard, and then also I would say that you're going to be platooning between a guy like Michael Grove and I would say probably Caleb Ferguson. But Yancey Almonte is a very good pitcher as well too. And I think that he could possibly be the closer for the Dodgers this year as well. So the Dodgers, it's opening day. They're going to be at the stadium. This is a night game, kind of rare because usually the Dodgers are a day game for opening day, but this is the Diamondbacks. So, you shouldn't they're not gonna lose any sleep over the Diamondbacks, being their opening day opponent. It's really like if it was the Giants, I would say that they're probably gonna have these guys on the field. You know what I mean, at 1:00. But I'm looking at the Diamondbacks lineup right now. They got their DH Kyle Lewis, who's going to be leading off. We also have Ketel Marte, who's going to be batting second today. Louders Gurriel, who is the veteran in the group. He's going to be the left fielder. We also have Christian Walker, a guy that I'm kind of high on. He's going to be batting cleanup today. The old man himself, a guy who used to be really, really good about 10 years ago, got himself a monster contract very early in his career, Evan Longoria. And then you have Nick Ahmed at shortstop, Corbin Carroll at center field, Gabriel Moreno is the catcher tonight, and then you have batting in the ninth hole. It's going to be Jake McCarthy. So pretty much this team should be ready to roll tonight, but they got Zach Gallen on the mound. Zach Gallen is a guy that has wound up being the most trusted pitcher in the lineup. And so pretty much that's going to be the Arizona Diamondbacks lineup for tonight. And I'm trying to get the Dodgers lineup for tonight so you guys know exactly who's in the game. They just gave me the who's on the roster. But they usually have this thing up pretty early, but we'll get to it. Well, here it goes. The Dodgers starting lineup tonight is going to work. Well, this was the starting lineup the other day. Sorry about that. But who they started the other day, they had Betts, Freeman, and Smith, 1, 2, 3. Also, J.D. Martinez was in the cleanup hole. Muncy was in the 5 hole. Taylor was in left field. Thompson was in center field. They're batting 6th and 7th. And then you have Vargas, who's batting second, and then you have who's batting 8th, and he's going to be the second baseman. And then you have Rojas, who's the shortstop in the 9 hole. So I think that's going to be the Dodgers lineup again tonight. And if they do have anybody else in the lineup, I probably would say they'll be swapping out, say, possibly Taylor for Hayward, possibly. So we'll see. You know what I mean? So it is what it is at the end of the day. But with that, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. And when I get back, we're going to go ahead and jump into the baseball games of today. So you guys be ready for that. And pretty much we're going to talk about the NBA as well, too. So you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, we are back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles, with the one and only Pop DBIC, the Primetime Capper. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's get into our MLB Thursday night, opening night, and we got some really good games tonight, and we kick it off with the game between the defending world champions, the Houston Astros, going against the White Sox, who fell short last season of getting into the playoffs. A team that had a lot of expectations last year, and this year it's not too much the same, but I got a lot of expectations for them. You know that I did choose this team to actually win their division this year. I actually did pick them to win their division this year at plus 225. So I would hopefully think that they can come home and do the thing for the boy, but we'll see how it goes because you know how it works. You know how it works. So pretty much tonight we have a very good matchup between the White Sox and the Astros. I feel like it's kind of even because you got Dylan Cease, who's a very good pitcher, but he's going against Javier, who's a very good pitcher as well too. Both guys are really ready to go ahead and get this thing started. And from what I can see coming into this one, the White Sox, I know spring training has really nothing to do with nothing. And I just think that they've been traveling a bit too much because they did have to go back home and play against the Cubs. Well, they played them good for them. They actually played them in Mesa, Arizona. So they didn't have to leave Mesa. I thought they possibly had to do what the Dodgers did. But in their last 3 games, they didn't do too good. They were 0-2-1. And literally in their last 10, they just didn't do too well. But I think that, they were just working out the kinks, things like that. And I'm looking at the way that this game is setting up today and the way that these lineups are getting set. You could say that this one can lean a little bit towards a very close game. And I think that a lot of people, in all honesty, are going to overbet the Astros today because the Astros are the defending world champions. They're going to have a lot of pageantry and all that good stuff. Looks like Jeremy Pena is going to be leading off today. Alex Bregman is going to be in the 2-hole. You have Yordi Alvarez in the 3-hole. Abreu is going to be batting cleanup today. Kyle Tucker is in the 5 spot. And then you have Diaz, who's going to be the DH today. He's batting in the 6-hole. You got Jake Myers in center field. He's going to be batting in the 7-hole. Then you got Martin Maldonado, the catcher. He's going to be 8-hole. And then you got Dubon, the second baseman, who's going to be in the 9-hole. So you have that working out for you on that side. So that's who Dylan Cease has to go against today. And that's a good group right there when you look at the first 4. And Jose Abreu was just recently on the White Sox. So he got to, he's ready to go ahead and tear some stuff up. Also, Tim Anderson will be leading off today for the White Sox. Then you also have Luis Robert Jr., who's going to be in center field, going batting second. You have Andrew Wilson at first base, who's going to be in the 3-hole. Eloy Jimenez is going to be the DH today. He's going to be batting 4th. Mancanda is going to be 5th at the 3rd baseman. Benintendi is the left fielder is batting 6th. You have Yasmani Grandal, former Dodger, who's going to be batting 7th. Then you have Elvis Andrus, former Texas Ranger. He's going to be batting 8th. And then you have Ronnie Gonzalez batting 9th. So that's going to be your lineups for tonight in Houston. So pretty much with that, what I'm going to do here is take the plus 1.5 in this spot. I think that's going to be a very good ticket here for us. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. And come on, the Astros are dealing with a lot of injuries right now. I don't think Bregman's in the lineup tonight, and Altuve is going to be out for the first 6 weeks of the season, possibly the first 2 months. So that's what you have there. And pretty much let's go ahead and move forward and talk about our next game, which is going to be between a team that's a big favorite for a lot of people. And there goes the line for the White Sox and let me get you guys the line. White Sox plus 115, Astros are minus 140 tonight. Over under of 7.5 going in that game. And as I said before, I'm taking the plus 1.5. That's actually a minus 170 ticket. All right, so now let's talk about the Rockies and the Padres. The Rockies and the Padres come into this one. Two teams with two different expectations. The Rockies want to make sure that they're better than 66 games, and the San Diego Padres have went ahead and put their hat in the they've put their hat in the they put their hat in the barrel with the idea that they can win a World Series. It's just that simple. This team is hell bent on getting themselves a World Series this year. They really went ahead and tried to really say, whatever it takes, we're going to get it done. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. So pretty much I just feel like this one right here is a very, very good game because it's another game that's gonna get well over bet because everybody has this idea the Padres are, the end all be all, but they still got to get into the season. And one team that's been good to me, and probably if you've been following me the last 7 years, since I've been putting out baseball bets and things like that, there's always a team that I always pick on opening day. And that's the Colorado Rockies. The Colorado Rockies might always come in as the hottest team in the MLB the first 7 games of the month of the year. And I feel like they're going to continue that because they got Yu Darvish, who's been traveling all across the world in the last month. And I truly do feel that today the Colorado Rockies will be my dog of the day. So I really do like them with the plus 180 in this spot. And I think that this could be a very good hit. Now, what's going on in the pitching department? We got German Marquez, a guy that always tends to show up. So I'm not really worried about that regard for this game. You know what I mean? I'm not really worried about that. You got Charlie Blackmon, you got Chris Bryant, you got CJ Cron. I feel like they can have themselves a big day today. And that's why I'm going ahead and I'm taking the Rockies because the Rockies played some good baseball here before we've gotten to the season. They've been absolutely dominating teams. So why not? The Padres, as I keep saying, I just truly feel like they are a top team, but they're going to be a severe overbet today. Now, in the starting lineup, they got Trent Grissom leading off. Juan Soto is going to be in the 2-hole. Manny Machado is in the 3-hole. Xander Bogaerts is going to be batting cleanup. You got Cronenworth in the 5-hole. Matt Carpenter at DH, who's going to be batting in the 6-hole. Catcher Austin Noya in the 7-hole. And then you got Kim in the 7-hole at second base. David Dahl will be the hitter batting last and he is their right fielder today. So that's going to be your lineups for today. And then you have Yu Darvish actually going against German Marquez. So this is a great pitching matchup as well, too. So you guys might not want to run to that over so quickly as well, too, because the weather is just not that great right now in California. I don't know if San Diego is witnessing any of it, but I know that we're witnessing a lot of rain. We just had a torrential thunderstorm last night. So I think that tonight this could be a really good pitching matchup just because the weather kind of calls for it. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But the Rockies are my evening dog of the day because my early dog of the day ain't working out. We'll just keep it real. It ain't working out right now. But let's hopefully we can get this one home. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into another big rivalry game. This rivalry actually gets a little overlooked because, the A's are a team that came to Oakland from 2 different cities. They started off in Philadelphia, then they went to Kansas City, found themselves in Oakland. The Angels might be the only original LA franchise other than the LA Kings because they have always been in LA. They didn't move here. They were created by Gene Autry, the famous actor. They used to even play at the old Wrigley Stadium in Hollywood. So that's how far the Angels go back to, being Cali, being Hollywood. They were an actors team. So they might be more Hollywood than the Dodgers. But all in all, this team plays down in Anaheim. In Mickey Country, they were owned by Disney at some point, but now they are owned by Artie Moreno, who's probably the worst owner in all of baseball because he's the only guy that's been able to have Hall of Fame talent and not do anything with it. So pretty much Can they go ahead and make the proper adjustments this season to become a very feasible team? Or will they just keep being the Angels? They come in today as a heavy favorite because the best player on the planet is pitching today, and that's Shohei Ohtani. And then the best player in America, the best player in the face of MLB baseball, Mike Trout, he'll be playing today. So, yeah, the Angels are going to be a monster favorite. Of course they are. And Oakland comes in here, probably the worst roster in all of baseball. This team is absolutely hopeless. Let's keep it real. But they will be a good little cash cow for us when they heat up. You got to figure out who the guys are for them when you need a good pitcher and you need a day where everybody's going to probably not bet them. You know what I mean? But today is going to be a mixed bag because there's going to be some people chasing some value, and they know the Angels and the A's are actually rivals. So this game is really always going to be 50-50. But you got Shotani pitching today, and I don't think Shotani's going to pitch bad today. I think Shotani is on a natural high right now after winning the WBC against America. That was the biggest win of his career from what it felt like. So pretty much he's going in here with some house money right now, and I think that he's going to want to go ahead and double down a little bit on that performance and have an even stronger performance here. We already know he's the front runner for the MVP and the Cy Young this season, and it's just absolutely incredible that the Angels are able to have a guy like this at this moment in time. Hopefully they can absolutely expose the market on him to make sure that if he does leave, that they get something in return. So tonight, this one is one that you just really can't figure out who's going to win the game because the Angels are still a team that you have questions about. But when I really get down to the nitty-gritty of the situation, I do like the over 7 in this spot. I think that we're going to get some runs here today, and especially if the Angels are winning this game, they're going to score a lot of runs today. But I feel like Oakland's going to figure out a way to kind of surprise us today, and they'll get some runs on the board as well, too. So I like the over 7. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, we got our last game here, and it's going to be between the Guardians. Yeah, it's the Guardians, no longer the Indians. The Guardians versus the Mariners. The Guardians come into this game kind of shorthanded, but they got Shane Bieber, Cy Young winner, and then you got Luis Castillo, former Cy Young winner for Seattle. They're going at it today. This should be a really, 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 really fun game because the pitching matchup. And I truly do feel like the pitching matchup is going to be the star of the game tonight. But who has the better hitters? I would say right now, we know that the Guardians had a great run to the playoffs, but I would say I would prefer the Mariners hitters over the Guardians hitters right now. If you say who got the advantage in that regard, but it's still a 50-50 situation. Let's just be honest there. And I'm looking at the way that this one is shaping up tonight, and you have yourself a very fun lineup tonight with the Indians. But will it be enough? That's the whole question. You know, Stephen Kwan, tremendous player. Rosario, very good player. Josh Bell added over the offseason, big-time pickup. You know what I mean? So, literally, they're a team that's looking to go ahead and just keep building because they did do something that they weren't supposed to do. They absolutely won with the youngest team in the MLB. And so what they need to do is they need to build upon that because they have a lot of young talent, and that young talent has already showed up. And they already got a great trainer a great manager in Terry Francona. So when is it going to be the perfect storm for this team? That's the biggest question. You know, and tonight they do have to go against one of the toughest lineups in baseball. They get no help with Rodriguez leading off. Then Wong is going to be in the second hole. France is going to be the third man. Hernandez is going to be batting cleanup tonight. Rowley is going to be fifth. Suarez is sixth tonight. Kalanick is going to be in left field, and he's in the 7th hole. Listella is the DH is going to be in the 8th hole, and then we got Crawford here in the shortstop here in the 9th hole, and then Luis Castillo, who has new life now since he's in Seattle. So that should be a lot of fun tonight, And I look forward to a really, really good game in the spot. And I think that I'm going to circle the Mariners to actually win this game tonight. I think that the minus 120 is a good play. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, and we move from there. All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. So pretty much, what do we have here next? What do we have coming up next? We got the NBA. The NBA. And we are coming down to the final games of the season. Literally, everybody has about 6 or 7 games left to go. It's that simple. Everybody got about 6 or 7 games to go. And then the NBA season will be over for 14 teams. Okay. Literally 14 teams will be done with their basketball season. So, is it 14 or 15? Regardless of anything, they'll have people's season is over. You know what I mean? It's over, son. It's over. And since they added 2 more teams to the playoff situation, it literally means that it's like 9 bad teams, and you're not going to be a part of this, buddy. That's all they're saying, is that you're not a part of this, buddy. You're not. You're just not a part of this. Go home. Hit Cancun. So either your team is headed to Cancun in the next week, or your team is headed to a plan, or your team is headed to the playoffs. It's that simple. So let's talk about 2 teams that are locked into the playoffs already clinched a spot. Will most likely be the 1 and 2 teams in the playoffs as well too. You have the Celtics 52-24. The Bucks are 51-24. Wild situation, because the Bucks have literally let the Celtics catch up with them, but been leading pretty much the whole time. And actually, I'm sorry about that. I don't know where 51 came from. I guess I was looking at the Bucks. I was looking at the Nuggets. I should have been looking at these guys. They're actually 55, because I had to double check that. Like, hold on, dude. How are you a game ahead? You're not a game ahead, because Milwaukee's still the number 1 seed. So I got it right now. So now Milwaukee's actually 3 games ahead of Boston. Boston, for a moment there, was 4 games ahead of them. So that's been a great turnaround for this Milwaukee team, even though they've been the 2 seed all year. But now they have established themselves as the 1 seed. And literally, I think that they are too far ahead for them to catch them. But this game is very important tonight. Boston does have the upper hand, though, in the season series. They actually have won 2 out of 3 of these games. Now, this month, the Boston Celtics have won 8 games and lost 6. And they got 2 more games left for this month. And this will be their final road game this month. And then they got Utah on Friday. So pretty much they got back-to-backs going. But tonight they got the tough one. And then tomorrow they got the one that's somewhat easy. So we'll see how it goes on the Boston side. And Boston literally had their worst loss of the season the other night, in my opinion. Not too much scoreboard-wise, but just the way that they were so flat in that game against Washington the other night. Washington wound up beating them by 19 points. So they want to get that thing corrected. So tonight could be the night that, they really come in here and take full advantage of that situation, because the Bucks kind of are on cruise control now. Last night they had a night because, they got a little challenge. So pretty much what happened last night was that you had Giannis and Drew Holiday absolutely go berserk. Drew had 51. Giannis had a 38-point triple-double. So it was really some big work last night. 149 points put on the board as well, too. So it just was absolutely insane exactly what happened in that game last night. But everything is coming into place for the Bucks. The Bucks right now are 12-4 for this month. Like, the Bucks are just playing 11-4. Sorry about that, but they're playing great basketball right now, and they're right where they want to be at as well too. So that's always good, because teams just really got to understand that it really does take these months right here to really know who you really are. A lot of teams win very early in the season, then they start falling apart at this time of the year. It seemed like the Bucks have stayed consistent each month each. And literally, when they've ran into some losing streaks, none of us got worried about it. Like, nobody got worried about it. We all understood, and they're probably one of the more well-coached teams in the NBA right now as well, too. So tonight in this game, it's hard to pick a winner, but I am going to go ahead and mess with the scoreboard tonight. I like the under 238. That's what it's jumped to. It's at 236.5 for the morning line, but it jumped to 238. So I do like the under in this spot. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. All right. We move forward, and we got the Pelicans in a must-win situation tonight with the Nuggets, who literally are just gasping for air to get the season over with. Because, if anybody decided to lose at the right time, it's Denver. Denver literally put themselves behind the 8 ball when it came to the Western Conference this year early. And I say that because they've lost a lot of games here recently, but you have to understand they won a lot of games to start the season off. And when it comes down to playing the Western Conference as well, too, this year, this team has been absolutely incredible. This team is absolutely the best when it comes to playing their own conference. They are 32-13 when it comes to playing the Western Conference. And half of those losses came in the last 2 months. So you just have to understand they jumped out to a big run over the conference. And they are actually number one. And then another Western Conference team doesn't pop up until 4, and that's Sacramento. And then the next team after that doesn't pop up until Memphis, who's like number 10. So pretty much this is a good stat showing that Denver is really good against the conference. And that's where a lot of things work out into their favor going into the playoffs. But losing right now is not a bad thing because, yes, the Nuggets did have a stretch where they did lose 5 out of 6, including 4 in a row. But they've won their last 4 in a row. That's what the good teams do. And that's been good enough for this team to actually be 7-5 this month. So that works out very well for this team. And I think that they're trying to finish this month strong as well, too, because they do have a good amount of games next month. They still have 7 games left on the year. So, these are critical games for Denver because they want to make sure that they have this spot locked down, but they shouldn't really have to worry about anything because as at this point today, they're actually up 3.5 games, and only with 7 games left, I would say that they only need to win the next 2 in a row. You know what I mean? I think that they should be good to go. But they're going against a desperate team tonight in the Pelicans. The Pelicans actually coming to this one playing pretty good basketball right now as well, too. They've won their last 5 out of 6. Their 5-game winning streak was actually snapped. But at this moment right now, they've went 8-6 this month, and they're looking to go ahead and try to get this big win over Denver tonight. Now, this team against the Western Conference this year, they were good in the beginning, but they've struggled since Zion's been hurt. They're 26-21, good for 55% against the conference. Now, when it comes down to them as a away team this year, they've been not that good in that category, but they were better when Zion was here. And so New Orleans right now, they're 14-25 on the road. That's something that, works more into Denver's favor because Denver is actually right now at home. They're 32-6. That's actually the best record. That's actually the best mark behind Memphis. So they have a lot going against them tonight in New Orleans, but I still think it's good enough tonight to get themselves a nice cover. I like the plus 5.5 here on the Pelicans tonight because they need to win the game. And if they don't win the game, they're going to keep the game really close. This team is just do that. And I feel like they're going to just do that tonight. So with that, that's going to be our 2 NBA games for tonight. And let me go ahead, and it's time. It is time for Talking Tickets. So Talking Tickets, my favorite subject, your favorite subject. We got ourselves an NBA card tonight, and we got ourselves a MLB card for tonight as well, too. And you guys already know I gave out the pick 6 earlier today. Those games that came on at 1 o'clock, the second portion of the day, those games that came on, those are actually client exclusive. So that's why I didn't put anything out for those. So pretty much the only afternoon game that we got going right now is the game that's actually between the Rangers and the Phillies. And as I said before, we're getting absolutely took behind the woodshed there. All right, so we have the All Hoops pick 3, 7-1. As I said, I love North Texas tonight with the plus 130. Also love under 238 with the Celtics and the Bucks tonight. And then I'm taking the plus 5.5 with the Pelicans, and that's going to be our 7-1 ticket tonight on the pick 3. And then we have the NBA, the opening day super high five. I'm so used to saying it's the NBA super high five, but usually this is going to be a late pick 4 ticket. So it probably won't be a 15 here because I really don't like throwing the Dodgers in bets like these because you know that my love for the team. And I always try to say teams that you love, you don't want to ever really throw them out there to people because you want to bet with your head, not with your heart. I say this at literally every show. So pretty much 33-1 today. We got the White Sox plus 1.5. We also have the Rockies plus 170. My evening dog of the day, my nightcap dog of the day. And then we have the over 7 with the Angels and the A's today. And then we also have the Mariners money line minus 120. And then we wrap it up with the Dodgers plus 130 tonight with the minus 1.5. That's going to give us a 33-1 ticket. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. And that's going to be our opening day baseball ticket. And hopefully it's going to do a lot better than what this morning's ticket did. So let's hope for the best. And I really do thank you guys so much for tuning in today. You guys are the absolute best, as I always say. And then you guys always keep me motivated because, even if I feel like I'm not getting much of your attention, you guys always ask me when you doing the show, Pop, when you doing the show, DBacks. So I love it. And we just building, we just getting stronger by the day, stronger by the month, stronger by the week. So you guys make sure to tune in tomorrow. I'll be talking some more baseball, talking some basketball. We'll have some draft talk going down tomorrow as well, too, because the Raiders did talk to Anthony Richardson today. I want to kind of jump into that a little bit with you guys to see exactly where Raider Nation's at and where the Chargers are at when it comes to some of these free agent signings that they truly need in a place. Will they sign a star? Things like that. So you guys make sure to tune in for all of that tomorrow. And I want to thank you guys once again for tuning in to the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper. And as I always say, bet with your head and not with your heart. The movement is moving, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.